Well, you were talking the other night about starting to do two sets at the same place. In the same night. And that was always something that felt really weird to me, because it's like it's the same host, and for a long time it's like you only had like the same 5 minutes. You didn't have two separate sets that you could really do well with.
Yeah, and I feel weird doing the same exact set in front of most of the same people, like
because other people stay.
Maybe 2 or 3 leave and three new people come in, but it's like mostly this, and it's like you just saw this, and in a crowd, an open mic crowd of 7 people, it's like you're seriously you're not gonna laugh at the shit. You just heard it, and you didn't laugh the first time because I bombed. So I'm just gonna bomb again in front of the same crowd with the exact same shit. It feels weird.
Yeah, but it's only very recently that I guess that both of us have I have 2 separate open mic 5 minutes now. So I can start doing that back to back.
Yeah,
and that completely changes your open mic schedule. But instead of darting from one place to another, you're like, oh, I'll just do here twice.
Yeah, instead of like a 7 to 8 somewhere and then a 9 to 10 somewhere else, and you got that hour to kill in between. It's like I'll just do fucking 2 mics back to back, and you can kind of just feel it out a little easier, because it used to be like, this is kind of all I got.
I used to only have 5 minutes of jokes.
Yeah, and I would we'd go to a mic and do that 5 minutes, and then go to a different mic with different people and do the same 5 minutes.
Yeah,
but now it's like I'll hang out, I'll do another mic. I can scatter new things in more easily, better than it used to be. Just that's all I got. Now it's like, okay, well, I'll do these 2 that are I feel like are complete. I just really want to get them down, and I'll throw a little new one in there, and then same for the set after. Also, it's fun to watch. I'll do the same mic back to back with some of the same people, and it's fun to watch the difference between a joke from the first set then the second set,
in other people or in your
in other people and myself, because you learn something from every set you do. And you're like, maybe I could have said this, maybe I could have done this better, and it's fun. Just this week I saw this guy do a set, and he did this new joke, and it was okay, but then the next mic he did it a little differently and added something. So it was cool to see that, to watch that it work in real time, he did it, and then he was sitting there writing in his head okay, here we go, and it was different. That was cool to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna change this up. I'm gonna move this around there. Yeah,
make it work a little better.
Also, another thing that's new to me, just because I got being in stand-up just this long, is writing a set for the night based on the room. Because I have so many jokes now in the back bin, that I can just pull out.
Yeah.
To where
on the shelf.
Yeah, just sitting there on the shelf, just waiting. And if it's a kind of a low vibe room, if it's kind of a dead room, you're like, all right, I'm gonna do these jokes.
Yeah.
If it's a really hot room, you're like, all right, this is gonna kill.
Uh-huh.
And then if it's if you since the room is cool, you're cool with it, you have a couple of super edgy jokes you can open up with.
Yeah.
And you're like, this will be fine.
Yeah, that is cool. It's important to know how to read a room.
Because the worst thing is dropping I don't want to call it edgy, but just one of those jokes, like a really hard line kind of edgy joke onto just a whatever crowd.
Yeah.
And then it just always bombs. You're like, all right.
Yeah. You got to know what you're good at, I think. Know what you're good at. Know your strengths and your weaknesses, It's funny, we talk about this all the time, how a joke will kill at one mic, and then just an hour later, bomb at some other mic.
In the same night.
Yeah.
An hour and a half have passed between you doing it, and one time it killed, the other time it didn't.
Yeah, and I think it has nothing to do with... Not nothing. It has not a lot to do with the joke, but it's just every person's day. That all the variables...
That's what makes a crowd.
That led to now that they're sitting and you're saying a thing. And
that makes how they receive it.
Yeah. Dead crowds that's so weird. It's like, how is this crowd dead? Why are you here?
Well, they all had, long days at work. They had their own thing. They had a fight with their fucking girlfriend or something. And but all that comes together into one room, and then you have to do this thing that you've said 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. You have to display that and send it to them, and then they go, bleep bloop, is this funny or not? And they laugh or they don't.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I've got some jokes where, like, the setup gets a laugh normally. Like, just the, just the mentioning of the start of the joke, just the mentioning of whatever the topic is, like, we'll get a laugh. And I've done it in dead rooms, and if the start of that joke doesn't get a laugh, the rest isn't really gonna. Like, because you got to be on board from the beginning.
Yeah.
And
you got to be invested.
And then then I'm just like bombing, and then it's funny how quickly that joke shrinks from like a 1.5-minute joke to like a 30-second joke.
Now it's just a throwaway.
You just if the setup bombs,
you're like, all right.
How quickly it just shrinks into, you just say the bullet points of the joke. Mm-hmm. Just in a row with none of the in-between stuff, and you're just like, anyways, what else, you know? It's funny how quickly it can fucking shrink.
That's a weird thing you gotta figure out. Mm-hmm. You gotta figure out how to, like, be alright with doing, like, alright.
Yeah.
Alright, what else?
Yeah, like, there's like a grace in bombing.
Yeah.
There's a grace to it. Don't let it get to you too bad, It's not that big a deal. It feels like hell. I mean, it's the worst feeling you'll ever experience.
I mean, also now, if I'm in the middle of a bomb, I can, part of me can appreciate like the humor in that. Mm-hmm. Like I still have like 3 minutes left to go, and I'm just like, oh, this is happening.
Yeah,
it's gonna be one of those. All right.
Yeah, and especially when you have like friends in the crowd.
Oh God.
And like you hear them not laughing, and you're like, I'm gonna hear about this.
Or the worst. I don't know why every single time, but like you'll try like your best joke in the middle of the set, and then no one laughs, and someone always in the audience just goes,
yeah,
and like coughs in the face. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why does that always happen? It's every single time.
Why did you have to cough just then?
But I'm at a point now where I can at least, like, I'll be in the middle of that and appreciate it, and like, it's almost more fun because you're like, this doesn't matter now. I'm bombing, it doesn't matter.
I was bombing. I wasn't bombing. I was actually doing good at this mic the other day, but I decided to end my set with this kind of new premise, and it was bombing. Like, not a laugh. The setup didn't get a laugh. The premise, nothing. And I was just going down this hole to nowhere. And then, but I got a big laugh at the end because, like, I bailed on the joke. I was like I was in the middle of it, and I was like, oh, well, this is clearly going nowhere, And I addressed it, and that got a laugh. And then I started riffing on, like, if you guys weren't on board from the start, I'm not gonna just keep going down this road, fucking dead end road, just whatever I was saying. And the ejection from a joke got the laugh more than the joke.
Yeah. A lot of times, if you bring it up, the audience will be a little bit more on board.
Yeah.
Because you're saying what they're thinking. Because they're sitting there like, this sucks. And when you go, that just sucks, they go, yes, all right.
Yeah. And then that shows me that, like, you're a good shit, and you're, like, present and conscious,